Hey everyone out there, this is Roniki. I'm coming to you one more time just for me to be able to talk to you about some matters. And this is in regards to world events that are going on right now. Um, so I believe it was a couple days ago, I saw a video, so I guess some C-SPAN video, speaking of a general, General Langley, to be exact. He was speaking of a certain individual, a certain leader in the country of Burkina Faso that to them is causing problems because they believe that the president of Burkina Faso, his name is Captain Ibrahim Traore, he's keeping the gold for himself and funding his own agenda. Now, um, and of course, the president of Burkina Faso responded swiftly and said those statements are baseless. Now, when I look at the country of Burkina Faso, and granted, behind the scenes, I've been keeping tabs on this young guy, in his late 30s, around my age, very intelligent, very distinguished gentleman. You could just tell he was born to lead. Really, certain folks are just born to do that stuff. And the way how he cared for his nation, the way how he turned around his nation in 2 years, providing houses, building up the infrastructure, promoting innovation, and empowering the youths to be able to express themselves to build, this nation in Africa. And now, the U.S. wants to go in to take what basically don't belong to them, and put up some kind of a false statement speaking about certain things. Now, it's always something they want to go in for you know, as a pretense to go in to destabilize countries. And how fitting they use a blackface to do it. They're gonna use a blackface, to do this. This thing is interesting. Now I understand. When I hear speeches by Malcolm X, and he was talking about um, the difference between a house Negro and a field Negro. I understood what he meant. I've always understood, but this is a perfect illustration of the house Negro versus the field Negro. It can't get no more plainer than this. One of our own, especially the amount of atrocities black people have gone through, and to see one of our own wants to go in, But this time around, because we see over the years they have come in, exploit these people of their resources, kill all of these people, even down in Congo. What's his name? I believe Leopold or something like that. Down in Congo, they went in there and chop off these people's arms. A whole bunch of amputees down there. And the way how they have treated black people, people from Africa, people from the diaspora, people from the Caribbean, people from all across the world, the way how they have treated black people, and to now you see a young brother rise up and wants to do good for his country, kicked out of his country, and he wants to do good for his country by his own people, for his own people, uplift and empower them. Where is the wrong in that? And now everything points to the person's gold, their gold. We don't even talk about, the people of the land. The people responded swiftly. Even right now, there's a lot of protests going on in Africa against the West, which, I happen to live, and this is not gonna play out good, because we are the children of slaves. Our foreparents came on slave ships, and we are the offsprings of all of these people that have worked and toiled in the fields, no matter if you're a believer of Christ or not, And to see this happen in our time, I think black people have gotten to the stage where they're just tired of the crap now. They are tired of the treatment that they have been receiving from our European folks, people who are white, even white folks coming out and saying, like, what the heck is your own race doing? It makes no sense. You're going into this nation to, quote unquote, eliminate and, protect the people, But this time around, because we see what happened to the whole thing with Gaddafi in Libya. And, if you read about the history with Sankara and Burkina Faso, the difference is that we're living in a time, and this is the reason why there's so much outcry and backlash, because people, you see, the internet, these social media platforms, it's a blessing and a cursing. Because it's a blessing because everybody could see what is going on. That's some of the reasons why they want to ban TikTok. TikTok revealed too much. TikTok is revealing too much. Some of these YouTube shorts are, revealing too much. People could pick sense out of nonsense. I mean, some of the stuff they got on the internet is AI and deep fake and stuff like that. Okay, we get that. But some stuff, okay, it's true. You got people on the ground. You can see exactly what is going on. And I don't think this is going to pan out well. I believe that this nation should just leave that African nation alone. Leave the African nation alone. Let them build. Let them be prosperous. Why do we feel threatened of a nation? If they're not bothering anyone, they are not saying, okay, they want to wage war against you. They just want to build and empower the nation, and invite even other black folks to their nation to build up their nation. It's mind-boggling that white people have colonized and when I say white people, I don't mean all of them, the majority of them, because the white people today are, the offsprings of most of these slave masters. It's true, not all of them, but majority of them. So why would you want to go into a nation, the wrong that you have done on the earth, right? Like, is there no shame? Is there no shame? If I knew my race did all the atrocities that I know in history, and I've read a lot to know what these folks have done to our people. Is there no shame? Is there no conscience in the psyche? We could say, okay, the devil. Listen, at some point, a line has to be drawn. And this is wickedness in high places. And it's also unfortunate that they always use a house Negro to do their bidding. A black man to do their bidding. This is not going to play out right, But here's what I will do. I will keep this brother, this young African brother, in prayer that he will continue to make right decisions for his nation, continue to uplift his people, continue to empower his people, continue to build the infrastructure of his nation, because I'm telling you now, and this is from what I see, if they mess with him, it's not the black folks of this world are gonna be very upset, right? So yeah, why can't who was to say that, Rodney King? Why can't we all just get along? Can't. Like, folks just don't got no shame. You have raped, pillaged, take the people from their homeland for years, just exploited their nations and their resources and their minerals, make technologies off of it. Now that the African nation have begun to stand up and say, no, this is where the problem comes in. The audacity. You really think that anybody could come to this nation and tell the United States what to do? No. No, that could never happen. The audacity to look down on a black man and think that you could just tell him what to do. Every human being have that right for them to live. They have that right. The human right. And although, we could put in the race issue into this is also a humanitarian issue, a humanity issue, if you will. It ain't right. Even other nations are seeing this, and, it is not right. So I pray and hope, like the governing body of this nation will do the right thing, and those who don't speak out, you could be on the sidelines and don't say nothing, but knowing me, I just have to say something, because this ain't right. It's not right at all. As a black man, as a believer of Christ, as a father, and as a husband, leave this black man alone. Let him build up his nation. Leave him alone. Let him build his nation. Be prosperous. Just, let him be prosperous. Let Africa be prosperous for once. Let them. I know y'all can't let them, but let them. Because God is a person who balances out things. When you start to mess with Africa now, you start to mess with the judgment of God. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Y'all have not seen nothing yet. You start to mess with the judgment of God, right? You start to mess with the judgment of God. And when you mess with his people, and when they begin to start to cry out, supernatural things begin to happen. I'm just simply saying, because it is a cry now. It is a cry. It is a cry. I spoke in previous videos about who the real children of Israel are, right? And now black people are rising up from all across the world, and they're watching the Western world, and they're watching Burkina Faso, and people are not stupid. People are seeing that y'all are really trying to take out this young guy. And all he's doing is trying to build back a nation that the Western world have exploited for centuries. He's trying to heal, right, what they have damaged, right? We know the only healer is Jesus Christ. I'm not talking about Caesar Borgia, the white Jesus Christ. I'm talking about the black Messiah. People say they don't get into race and everything like that. Read Revelations 1 and verse 14. Speaks about Jesus Christ has hair like wool, and his feet as burnt in a furnace. A black man. So We could get into that all other day. We know that there's a breach in these theological systems to suppress the truth from the masses, and people are basically gatekeeping all this truth, and everybody want to come out with the truth now like it wasn't there all along. But we must do better. Let Africa rise. Let them rise. Let them rise in their ingenuity. Let them rise in their innovation. Let them rise. Right? Let these people rise so they could lead the world and show the world how things are done. Let them rise the way how it used to be when they had the Timbuktu University in West Africa, when they had the Kingdom of Judah in West Africa. Let these people rise to show the world this is how you deal with things. This is how you operate. This is how you navigate with things. Let them rise. Don't fight against them. Don't fight against them. Let them rise. Let Africa rise.